Okay, everyone. So as you know, the Lilah Gibney situation has been something that we have been covering very closely within the last week. And now we have a huge update because Tana Mongeau and Trisha Paytas are now actually like opening up about the situation on their podcast together. Now, I will say that Trisha's coverage of the Lilah situation has been incredibly piss poor. It has been so bad, and I think mainly due to Moses and the way that he is choosing to add to the conversation very unproductively, but that still doesn't excuse her at all because she's a grown woman. Now, what's interesting is I think that Trisha acted that way because she is so close with Tana, who is friends with Lilah Gibney or has been friends with Lilah, and I think that Trisha's choosing to hold back on the topic, which I think is disrespectful, honestly, to your audience. But with Tana, I'm really intrigued to see what she says about all of this because, again, we are having people speak up and say that, you know, there's SA allegations and all these different things. But Tana Mongeau is actually the reason that Lilah Gibney has a platform, well, for the most part, because Lilah Gibney actually stalked Tana Mongeau and found her location when Tana was live posting. And Tana, you know, platformed her and told stories of her. And it was the canceled era, you know, Brooke and Tana, they're drunk every day. And that's kind of like Lilah fit into the mold and whatever. And so Tana's obviously, you know, very, very, very connected to this story when it comes to Lilah because a lot of people associate them together from their postings and stuff. And Tana and Brooke, even when Lilah would be being canceled, would literally tell stories of Lilah that were very unflattering, but they would be like, that's so Lilah. They used to like tell stories of how they can never tell Lilah when they're seeing a guy because Lilah will go out of her way to try sleep with the guy and, you know, cheat. Like it was always so weird in theory. Now, we have, you know, Trisha and Tana talking about Lilah on the podcast. We also have something really interesting that people have sent me, which is Lilah on the podcast with Tana, Brooke, and Trisha, which I think is going to be interesting. But first of all, I want to watch this clip that people have sent me as well of apparently them discussing like Lilah gonna like piss or shit herself, which has been like a very common thing that we've been hearing from these people with the surviving Lilah Gibney stories. No matter how many people are talking about it, like there seems to be a reoccurring pattern of like Lilah just like pissing or shitting like in public spaces or like in restaurant booths allegedly and all these different things. And people have sent me, there's a clip of Tana Mongeau and Lilah where they're talking about this. So what we're going to do is we're going to watch this first. We're going to watch this and then we're going to watch them addressing the situation because there's just a lot to dive into. Not piss on the floor. Not piss on the floor. So let's get to it.
Please don't shit your pants. It's funny because she is the only friend where, like, if she says that, it's not, like, an exaggeration.
What do I do if I have to go? Make him pull over type shit?
Well, I just want to let you know that 99% of the population would just hold it.
She's also wearing your little white shorts.
Are you wearing my little white shorts? Yeah. My brandy shorts? If you do shit yourself, take them off before. Do not shit yourself in those.
I'm not shitting myself in this sprinter, man. If I shit myself, I'm going to have to sit on the side of the road.
Outside of LAX.
Oh my god, all of them just sound so out of it, don't they? Good for Tana, you know, like really changing her life up.
Outside of LAX?
It was Australia. Oh no, it was LAX. After I landed from New York, I was wearing chrome sweats, no underwear, and I thought I was gonna
Don't tell this story. You couldn't waterboard this out of me if it happened to me, but first of all, the fact you can say the sentence, I'm Lilah Gibney and I shit myself at LAX.
in my grandma.
Outside in public. She's doing it, y'all.
Oh
She's
my
doing
god.
it. I don't even know what to say. I made her take off my clothes.
Open road.
Oh, I think I smell something.
No. Close the door.
Imagine being this driver.
I
Like,
Sorry, that's so crazy that the driver of the car just driving them, what we can only assume is just like an Uber, having to stop on the road so that one of the people in the car can just like shit on the side of the road. Like, this isn't like a funny story. And also, it seems like Lilah is like comedic relief, but like in on the joke. Like, this is so disturbing.
imagine him going home to his family being like, you'll never guess what happened today. Wipe again with the other pair. Wipe again with the other pair. Wipe again.
Can you put something back on, like cover your asshole?
Uh-oh, I'm like gonna shit my pants.
Please don't shit your pants. It's funny because she is the only friend.
Sorry, that... And just in like someone else's car. Like, this is like validating the stories that we've heard. This is... They all seem so out of it. They really do. Okay, so before we get to them addressing the Lilah situation, I just want to see what the vibe was like when Trisha and Tana did the cancel podcast with Brooke. Sorry, it's the other way about when Tana and Brooke did the cancel podcast with Trisha and Lilah was on.
Can you talk about your Starbucks scam?
Okay,
I actually don't know.
Oh, God.
I used to.
A touch of scammers.
I think this also kind of shows Trisha's like reluctancy to cover this story even more, that like she has met Lilah and stuff. I don't know if she addressed that, but she didn't in the clip that I saw.
Over here.
I used to preface. I used to. I make my own
The
money.
way I know it was last Thursday, but she used to.
What? Bitch, I always reload my Starbucks card. Fuck you. You never Apple Pay me. Anyways, when I used to work at McDonald's the night shift, I used to, go to the grocery store with a duffel bag, stuff it full, get like $300 of groceries and pay like $3. First of all, a bitch had to do what she had to do to survive.
Yeah, it's not a felony if it's under $9.50.
Right. Perfect. And
we do a smash and grab at Ralph's.
And then I would go next door to Goodwill, stuff it full, take all my Instagram content with my shitty fucking wig. Okay. And then I would go to Starbucks and be like, I'm so confused. I think another homeless person took my order again for the 30th day in a row. And they're like, oh my God, like Lilah Ryan, like it's a strawberry ice. I'm like, yeah, I love your shoes, Casey.
Oh my gosh. Wait, how do they know your order though?
I was just always like walking around like with my laptop because I would upload all my YouTube at Starbucks because I couldn't afford Wi-Fi.
Oh my God.
But so
just knew.
So essentially the scam is saying that you had a mobile order and someone took it.
Yeah, take notes, figure it out. Don't be like,
I bet they knew.
There's excuses when people are like, I'm so poor. It's like, fix it. Figure it out.
Oh my God.
Okay. Thank you, Lilah.
Okay, so let's get to this. I think it's like important to, there's so many things with that clip I'm just choosing to avoid diving into too much because,
Me TikTok trend, yeah. Well, I was like, Tana never talks about it. Truly, because you don't. And I was like, she doesn't talk about it. I don't know, but you did make the thumbnail because I said your name. So
Honestly, Fierce, I love it.
I was like, no.
That stuff just makes me really sad. Like, I just, sobriety is what I want for anyone, always.
That's what I was thinking too. I was like, it's just more of like a sad for everybody involved. Like obviously anyone who's like victimized, hurt, going through stuff like that too.
That's exactly sad. What it is. It's like all of those people have every right to hold her accountable for everything, and that doesn't negate that. I think it's like, I don't know. I just like would see some comments being like, "I'm living for this," and it's like, at least I know a lot of like what's actually happening, and like, I don't want to like say this, like I want to knock on wood, but it's like if she keeps living this way, like it could really, I don't know, like take her life or hurt her. And I'm not living for anyone dying. I'm not living for anyone abusing substances to like any
it's sad
type of point. And like,
And what can you do? Like you were her friend.
I've tried. I reached out to her and just kind of being like, you need to go somewhere. And like, I think that it's time, and I think that I would love to see an era for you where you right these wrongs and you find almost like a grandma era and you know what I mean? Like do good things into the world, because I obviously from knowing her for so long, I know that you are capable of being good. And I think that like, I am very much more like removed from that whole thing now, but I think for a long time, one of my downfalls that I learned in my childhood is loving people for their potential, and that was kind of, I don't know, I guess how I felt about her. It's like, I love you for your potential. Like you could be this amazing person and this activist and funny and lift other people up and like not do all of the other. I also think there was a lot of stuff I didn't know about. Like these TikToks have been fierce, but that doesn't mean that she should die,
Yeah, of course.
And I want her to get help. So I think.
Okay, I mean, on that point, there's so much to discuss there. First of all, I mean, the juxtapose of hearing Tana talk about this versus the clip of them in the car is like really showing a lot of growth that Tana has done. I'm always happy for hearing about, Tana talking about her journey and her sobriety and stuff like that. What I will say is when Tana says like, oh, the TikTok's calling her out or like fierce and like, I'm hoping for like her potential and I just know that she's really going through it and the substance abuse and stuff like that. I do just want to also say that like, it's important here to like, just because someone, like we have people talking about being SA'd. We have people like really telling deep stories about Lilah. That doesn't be excused because of substance abuse. Point blank, period. Because that's, you know, you're essentially telling people like, oh, if you went through that, well, it doesn't really matter because that person's, you know, addicted to stuff. I don't know. It's really interesting watching these clips and Tana address it. I almost feel like Tana is addressing this better than how Trisha addressed it on Just Trish.
She is, from like what I've been
good
talking. I don't want to like air out all of her stuff or whatever, but I mean, I'm really pushing for the sober redemption arc, and you know,
you can only help someone as much as they want to help themselves, but
100%.
You were close, and I feel like even yours, I mean, granted, you're not the extreme of Lilah, but like obviously, like even watching, I think it came up on my FYP. It was like the first canceled episode, or one of the first canceled episodes, and you're like talking about something. I don't know. You're like, maybe you're wearing sunglasses. Ashley's looking like horrified at what you're saying. Oh my God,
yes,
you saw that clip?
That episode was crazy.
Like you're not hurting anyone or anything, so it's like not bad. It's just like the difference.
I'm hurting me.
right.
It is crazy.
Like I don't like know that Tana at all.
And thank God. Like substance abuse is so sad because there's obviously extremities to the levels of it, but like people become people that they are not, or people that they don't stand by. I was just talking about that. I filmed a video about my 1 year of sobriety, and I was like, that was one of the big factors for me in the end, is that I was becoming this person that like I didn't know, you know, and like saying and doing things that like I don't.
Lilah, the surviving Lilah Gibney.
Okay, I mean, again, that's so true that Trisha brought up the point of like who Tana was at the start of Cancel, because I did actually go back and revisit a couple of the first episodes of Cancelled, and it is a crazy juxtapose. And if you can say that anyone has like changed their ways online, Tana Mongeau is definitely, you know, appearing to be one of those. I can understand that if someone in your personal life is being called out for things like this, and you have a platform where you also call people out or talk about trending topics, that it can be uncomfortable. But I don't think that that means that, you know, you shouldn't talk about them, or you shouldn't give it the same level of attention you give other stories. I'm a little bit disappointed, if I'm being honest, by like these like major players who like know Lilah behind the scenes, how they are, you know, talking about this, because they're not saying, oh, I don't want to talk about this because that's someone I know in my life. They're basically saying like, oh, well, I know that they struggle with substance abuse, and like that being the main reason for not talking about it. Because again, it sets a dangerous precedent that like, if someone struggles with substance abuse, that basically they can get away with anything, because that is not... No. That is very dangerous. It was really interesting watching the clips of them all, you know, with Lilah as well. I mean, again, Tana has, you know, changed her life around, and you can only wish that for people, but you can wish change for people, but also hold them accountable for what they have done. Just because people have done horrible things and you wish for them to change, that doesn't mean that it erases what they have done. It's important to still talk about it. And yeah, we'll leave it there for now.